Hello guys! We are starting another section here in this course. This section of course is open to all students of this course, but it's especially aimed at those who want to take a step forward in their career and become professional theme creators. In this specific lecture, we'll start a very extensive series of tests in our theme. So before I start, I would like to make a few things very clear. This is a very advanced subject. I understand that a lot of the people who were interested in this course just wanted to learn how to create a custom theme for an e-commerce website. Maybe you have your own online store, you know how to code and wanted to learn how to customize your store, or maybe you just wanted to create something customized just for a specific client. However, I would like to take this course one step further. So if you identify yourself with the people I mentioned earlier, you don't need to watch the following lessons, okay? You may be interested only in knowing how to upload the site you created to some external hosting server. If this is your case, you can go straight to the last section of this course. The lectures belonging to the section that starts now are aimed only at those who want to learn how to redistribute the theme they create, those who want to somehow contribute to the WordPress community, either by sending a free theme to wordpress.org and proudly display it in their portfolio, or by sending the theme to some marketplaces such as Envato's Theme Forest. Why am I saying all this? Because what I'm going to show you from now on is not for everyone, okay? Most people would already be satisfied having learned what has been taught so far in this course. In fact, you hardly find a course that has half the things I've taught so far. So that's it. For those who continue their journey here with me, I will only say one thing. Get ready, comrades. Developing the theme is the easiest part of the whole process. Now, making the theme ready for the entire world is a whole new universe. And we're gonna be discovering all this from now on. I would like to make something very, very clear before I begin. I will try to do all the work by myself without any help. So I can't guarantee that my theme will be really approved by WordPress. You'll understand why after seeing how the process works. I strongly recommend that you avoid doing all this on your own. You'll see that will be a very hard and frustrating task. That's why I've never tried to show this process in my courses until now. I strongly advise that you get your friends together and set up a work group. Launching a theme, even if it's a theme that will be free on WordPress.org, it's not for everyone. If there is no other way out, just go ahead and do it by yourself. But if possible, don't be alone, okay? I suggest that you have in your team at least one person to work with the layout, a designer or a web designer. You also need a developer, which is highly recommended if you also want to create your own plugins to work along with your theme, which is not my case. At least one person to test themes, because you see that you have a lot of things to test. Someone to write documentation to the end user at least. And if possible, someone that understands a thing or two on marketing too. As I'm not a marketing guy, I won't be able to give you much advice in this area, but it would be nice if you had someone like that on your team. An important point, have a website ready where you can post information about the themes you're going to create. This is essential because the author and the theme URL you get on the style.css file needs to be that of a working website. In my case, I created a project called In Brackets. The base for this website is the same thing I've created here with you in this course, but you can use any theme and then improve the look of your site. The important thing is to have something available online, right? Another important detail, it's essential that everyone on your theme speaks English, okay? You will need this kind of knowledge for almost everything. About the lessons, I will try to make the lessons as educational as possible, but I just won't be able to explain in detail every aspect of the process, the small details that involve the whole testing process. In most of the lessons, I will just show you what is necessary to read or where to find some information that you need to know in order to test your theme. You'll see this, for example, when I'm explaining how to use the WordPress unit test. you have to read the requirements, okay? Because there's no way I can spend lessons and more lessons reading item by item with you guys. Okay, my initial goal here will be to send the theme to WordPress.org. But then you'll be thinking, but the themes at WordPress.org are free and I want to make money with my theme teacher. And my friend, who told you it's impossible to make money with WordPress.org? Just take a quick look at the themes there to understand the business model behind some free themes. Your team's marketing person can certainly help you with this. Don't fool yourself, okay? WordPress.org is a great showcase for your work. Being able to send a theme there is not for beginners, and it's a proof of how valuable are the things you can do. Moreover, WordPress doesn't forbid you to sell a premium version of your theme at any time. The absolute majority of developers who are on WordPress.org do the same thing. They use a free high-quality theme to attract users to an even higher quality premium theme sold on their own website or on other platforms such as ThemeForest. And others charge for VIP support for their free themes. And you can do the same too. It's totally okay. Another thing, if you can upload a theme to the WordPress official repository, you see that it's even easier to upload it to other sites as well. As far as I can tell, the level of the WordPress review team requirements is very high, even higher than other sites. So let's go. You're gonna be using the theme we created together just to, so to speak, rehearse the process. I suggest you to use it just to understand how the process works. Once you've learned how to do it, you grab your own theme and do the same. That is, you never, I repeat, never send this very same theme we are building for review, alright? This is my own theme. When the time comes, pay attention, you must upload your own theme, okay? What do you need to know to get started? The first page you need to visit is this one here. I'll leave the link for you, okay? This is the section of the WordPress documentation with all the necessary requirements for you to submit the theme to the official theme directory. The first thing they say here is that if you follow the instructions in this manual, which is all of this documentation here that I tried to follow with you during the course, your theme is almost ready to be released into the directory. The first requirement is that you have the required theme files. Let's see what they are. Well, there are all files that we already have. Style.css, index.php, comments.php, and screenshot.png. It's essential that you read some details about these files here. During the course, I did my best to follow the recommendations mentioned here. So if you follow my recipe, everything will be fine. The second requirement is to test your theme. And here we have another series of recommendations. The first one, you use the WordPress themes unit test. This is a file in XML format that you have to install in the theme through the importer. It will install a series of test contents such as posts, pages, images, menus, etc. And with it, you can see how your theme handles this content. You should follow the suggested tests on this page here. This is made up of several tests, and see how the theme looks like in this or that scenario. Later we'll talk about this page again, but still talking about the tests. Here below we have a series of initial tests that you do in the theme that relate to the basic WordPress settings. For example, it says here, set the site title to something long and set the tagline to something even longer and see what happens. These are tests that are meant to stress the theme to see if it doesn't break or if it doesn't get messy, etc. And here below it talks about several tools, mostly plugins, that you can install in the theme to test, for example, if it doesn't break in the next version of WordPress. And here below are other testing tools. Some of them you'll be using, such as the theme check. There's also the developer plugin, which has a lot of tools inside it for you to develop and test your theme. I'm not going to use this plugin because it's like a Swiss Army knife and it will be very complex to explain everything it does. What you're going to do is just install some of the spare test tools like the theme check and others. They will be very useful for us. The suggestion, in fact, an essential part of the test is browser testing. That's why I told you that it can be very complex to test everything on your own. I will try, but I can't promise that I'll be able to do it on my own. Okay, back to the page where we started. Here they say that you should follow the theme review guidelines, which is actually all that I'm showing you. And after completing all this process, you should write a decent documentation for your theme. This includes at least 3 things. First, your code has to be all documented. We've already done a lot of that in the course. Second, it's required that you have a readme.txt file, which should be placed at the root of the theme. By clicking here on this link, you have a template for that file. And third, you should have documentation for the end user of the theme. In this user documentation, you should teach the user how to deal with the theme, especially if it has some limitations of use or some special installation or configuration instruction. And then after all this, if you're still alive, my friend, you send the theme to be approved by the review team. WordPress has its own revision system, and the workflow is as follows. First, the team will automatically perform a test on your theme. If there are errors, it will come back for you to fix them. But the back and forth, say, can be very frustrating and take much time. And there will come a time when your theme will be reviewed line by line by someone called a key reviewer. So unfortunately, you can be sure that it can take months for you to get your theme published. A couple of important notes. If your theme has at least 3 distinct required issues not approved, it goes straight into the not approved theme queue. So let's make sure that this doesn't happen because that could mean a few more months waiting. Now, a wonderful tip that they give is on this link here. This is a manual for theme reviewers. You can take a look here and understand everything that reviewers need to do. So these are guidelines for reviewers. But this can give you a good idea of what you shouldn't do if you don't want your theme to be rejected. So it's worth spending some time reading this documentation. Finally, we got a suggestion for the first 3 checks we should do. First question, do you understand the rules of WordPress theme repository? It means that you are aware that the theme has to be compatible with the GNU General Public License version 2 or any later version. And very important that plugin is one thing and theme is another thing. You should never mix one thing with another. For example, it's strictly forbidden to create shortcodes in your theme or register post types. I know it's a pity, but they are right. And there's more here on this link. Second check, did you run the theme sniffer plugin? Third, did you run theme check plugin? Those are 2 plugins that you need to run on the theme to look for bugs. We're gonna run them in the next lesson, and we're gonna start seeing everything that has to be fixed in the theme before we go to the next tests. Wow, I think that was it for now, guys. Hope you're motivated. Although I'm not sure I'll be able to do everything on my own, I'm really excited. So see you in the next lesson. With a lot of hope, until then.